Welcome to the Piston Fanatic. I'm your host, Dave Dalton, and I'm excited to share my passion and perspective of our Detroit Pistons as we go on this fantastic voyage together. I've been a diehard Piston fan since the days of Dave Bing and Bob Lanier. I've also been the varsity basketball coach of a very successful program in northern Michigan. I want to thank you all for listening. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Detroit basketball, they pulled it out 123 to 121 in overtime against the Miami Heat. We had an 18-point lead in the first half. We had a 9-point lead with a minute 22 left. We turn it over every time. Tyler Herro hits 3 straight threes, and it goes overtime. Ivy fouls out. Hardaway got injured earlier in the game, and he left. He was in bad shape. If you didn't get to watch the game, I don't know if he has a concussion or what he has, but they took him out on a wheelchair. Cade was out of the game for a long time at the end of the third and the beginning of the fourth, and I wondered why he wasn't getting subbed back in. But he had this thing wrapped around his back and his core, but I guess he had back spasms, so he did not re-enter the game until there was like 5 minutes left. Ivy did a great job during that time, but then it was a disaster. The end of the game was disastrous. We turned it over so many times, and at the end of regulation and the beginning of overtime, we turned it over 5 straight times. We had only 9 turnovers until there was like 6 minutes left in the game. Then we ended up with 19 turnovers, so we turned it over 10 times from the 6 minutes left in the fourth into the end of overtime. So we didn't help ourselves any. We made it challenging, but it's an exciting win, and there are a lot of good players made. We had 7 guys in double figures. We had 32 assists. We had 15 offensive rebounds. We did a lot of great things and pulled out the win. And there a lot of adversity there, and we were our own worst enemies at times, but it was a fun win. The big play, though, things were looking bleak. 1.8 seconds left. Tyler Herro knocks down a shot. He scored 40 points. He made 10 threes. He made a jumper at the end, a tough jumper. I thought he might have traveled, but he made it, and there's only 1.8 seconds left. And I'm thinking, we're taking the ball out on the sidelines. So we call timeout, so we get to move it up to half court. Cade's taking it out. I thought, why is Cade taking it out? Don't we want him to shoot it? Well, JB draws up this play where Duren starts at the free throw line. Tobias starts at the top. Duren comes up and back picks for Tobias. Tobias cuts off him. Then Beasley comes up and back picks for Duren. He spins around. Cade lobs it up to the rim. Dunk. Pistons go ahead, and then they call a timeout with they had no timeouts left. The great Eric Spoelstra, who was regarded as probably the greatest coach in the NBA overall, and he calls the timeout, and they had none left. So it's an automatic technical foul. Not only do you have the other team get to shoot the technical, but you also get to they don't get to take the ball out. Usually after a technical, if a player's complaining, they call a technical, and then if it was your team's out, normally you would get the ball out. But on that technical, you don't get it out. So yeah, lots of big plays. Beasley hit a huge 3 with 40 seconds left that tied it. Things weren't looking good. 40 seconds left. They're down by 3, and then Fontecchio throws it to Beasley. Again, Ivy was out of the game. He fouled out, and yeah, it was tough. But it was exciting. So yeah, I hope Hardaway's okay. It was great that Duren came back. He made a huge difference. He played great. He had not just that dunk, but he had 2 blocks, but he had 4 other times where he jumped real high, contested shots at the rim. Guys missed the shots because he altered the shots. So, he's showing some life there. It looks like he's fully recovered all right from his ankles, because he had his bounce back last or whatever. I don't know if it was last year or the year before when he had those ankle injuries. When he returned, he just didn't quite have the bounce back that he used to have. So, yeah, we were up 18 in the first half. It looked like we had smooth sailing. And then when we were up by 9 with a minute 22 left, it looked like we had it wrapped up. And then this was a crazy game. So, and this was the midseason, or it's not midseason, but the in-season tournament. So we're on our way to Las Vegas. Anything can happen. So Oh, JB said this is madness. This is what we do, he said. But the effort, he said the effort was phenomenal. And he really preaches sharing the ball. And that is a huge thing that he talks about over and over and again, in effort and grit. And our defense is phenomenal. Our defense doesn't even resemble our defense last year. Guys are fighting through picks and switching on things. And, it's just really great to watch. And I tell you, you know, didn't think Cade, was going to have a chance to be an all-star because you have to win. And um, the Spurs are losing a lot, but Wembanyama, and he hadn't been playing well. He's played well as of just recently, but they he'll be an all-star for sure. But anyway, Cade is making an argument, even though he's turned it over way too many times tonight. But he still, in the last 5 games, over 21 points, over 10 assists, and 9 rebounds in the last 5 games. But we're winning. And so there's hype, there's talk. There's been talk about some of the other games he's had where, he had the one game against the Hawks where he made the shot, the game go ahead shot, and then blocked the shot, to seal the deal. And then, he has games, like tonight, he still had a good game. But yeah, I hope it happens. And then Ivy, he's played really well in the fourth, but then he fouled out. But he made a step back three late in the game that put us up by 11. Cade, Cade got hit in the head, and he got mad, and then he hit a step back three just because I think he was mad. He didn't shoot, he shot the ball really poorly in the first half. But anyway, Hardaway was on his way to a great game. Had played 19 minutes, but he was 3 for 6. He was only 1 for 4 on threes, but he was 4 for 4 on free throws. Had 11 points in the 19 minutes. Tobias was tough, pretty good game again tonight. 40 minutes, 7 for 15, 2 for 4 on threes, and 2 for 2 on free throws. So he scored 18 points on 15 shots. So that's good production, along with his regular solid rebounding, 7 rebounds and 4 assists. He usually doesn't do that. But Duren, first game back, missed a couple, and he was 30 minutes, 3 for 4. And JB's done a great job using him and Stewart. I mean, we got the best. We have an all-star center. That's all I can say is with the combination of those two guys together. And I think again this is good. Stu played 23 minutes. When Stu plays more than that minutes, he looked really exhausted. But he was really energetic. He was really going after the offensive rebounds. He had 5 offensive rebounds tonight, and that's JB said that. JB said going into the season that he was going to that was a strength of Stu's, and he was going to put him in position to get all those. I will tell you one thing though, my boy Asar. I had a bunch of stuff I was going to talk about Asar, but I'm not going to do it today. But I could have been. He had the great interview that he had, and talking about coming back. But wouldn't have that been great if we would have had Asar to put on Herro? That would have been ideal because Herro's not knocking down those 3 threes on him. He's going up against Beasley, and Beasley's just not that great of a defender. But Beasley battles. I get frustrated sometimes. He shoots really well when he takes good shots, but he takes a lot of shots that aren't good, and so but his percentage is really high on his when he takes a quality shot. When I was a coach, high school coach, I used to for my players, I would have a number between 1 and 10, and I would like a 10 or a 9 would be an uncontested layup. And of course, I also made sure that players were aware of what's a 10 for one player is not a 10 for another player. If you're a great 3-point shooter, an open 3 is maybe an 8. And if you're a mediocre 3-point shooter or a bad 3-point shooter, an open 3 is a 2 or 3. So I mean, but Beasley, again, he can get on fire. He hit those big shots. He shot 5 for 11 on threes tonight, so he was great. But if he just could get a balance, but I guess if you're aggressive, he's really aggressive shooting, and I know Greg Krauser said if he misses 10 in a row, he just shoots the next one just like he had made them all. So, but yeah, Duren was 30 minutes, 3 for 4 on shooting, the game winner, 0 for 2 on free throws, which he missed 2 with hardly any time left. He missed 2 free throws. Cade threw him a great pass. He had a dunk, and they were smart and fouled him, and he missed. I just don't understand how you go from a 79% shooter. I should have looked it up. I got to believe he's shooting around 50% on free throws. It's sad that he went from shooting that great last year and he improved like 14% from the year before. But anyway, like I said, he had 5 assists. 5 assists, and maybe he only had 1 turnover. So he really great game. Not again, he had 2 blocks, but he altered a lot of other shots. Ivy, 41 minutes, 8 for 18, only 1 for 5 on threes. He even passed up some threes, and he doesn't usually do that. But he was 2 for 2 from the line. But Jaden Ivey had 9 rebounds and 7 assists. He did have 3 turnovers, but still 19 points. That is a good game, and he plays his guts out. You can see how much his defense has improved and his effort is unbelievable. So, Cade, 38 minutes. Again, he missed that big chunk of time. He took his normal time where he gets subbed out with like 3 minutes left in the third, and so all of a sudden, why isn't he back in? Why doesn't he subbing at this dead ball? I looked on the bench. I didn't see him there. I thought, is he on the court? No, he's not on the court. And I watched. He came back out in the game, and he had this big thing, black thing, wrapped around his core, his torso, and you know, um, Beasley said after the game in an interview that it was his back spasm. So hopefully that's not reoccurring. Those aren't fun, and that can be a reoccurring thing. But 38 minutes, he was 6 for 15, only 2 for 7 on threes, but 7 for 7 free throws, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 blocks. He's been blocking a lot of shots lately, but he did have the big turnover number, 9. Oh, I didn't write down how many turnovers he had, but he had way too many. Um, Beasley, 35 minutes, 7 for 12, 5 for 11 on threes, 2 for 3 on free throws. He missed one at the end of the game. 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 turnovers. So Beasley talked about it in the interview after the game that he was upset. He turned it over. He hardly passes it. He hardly makes a pass the whole game. If he catches it, he typically shoots it. And so for him, as little as he handles it, to have 4 turnovers, that's not good. Stu, 23 minutes, 4 for 6. He's been finishing. He had a bunch of games this year where he hardly scored, but he's been really finishing. 5 for 6 on free throws. Like he said, 5 offensive rebounds, 10 rebounds overall in 23 minutes, 10 rebounds. That's amazing. 1 assist, 13 points. Tech came up big. He was 4 for 6, 23 minutes, 4 for 8, and 2 for 5 on threes. And so we just need him. Holland only played 16 minutes, but he was 0 for 2, 2 for 2 on free throws, and four rebounds. 4 rebounds in only 16 minutes. That is good production. So, but it's tough. So Cade said after the game in an interview, Cade drove to the basket with 15 seconds left, and they grabbed his arm. They gripped right a hold of his arm, and he turns it over. So Cade gets these turnovers, but I mean he's dribbling the ball into the lane to get a shot. The guy from behind him grabs his arm and pulls it down, and he loses the ball. Well, what else is supposed to happen? And then another play, Cade drives the ball, and he gets it knocked away, and he gets in a jump ball with Bam. He's in the jump ball circle. They're getting ready to jump. Cade tells the referee, Bam is going to grab me. And I don't know why Bam feels the need to grab and risk the foul because Bam can really jump. But he goes ahead and he turns around and he grabs him, and the ref doesn't call it. Of course, the ref was ducking out of the way. I don't think that he could have saw it. It would have been needed to be called by not the ref that was on the jump ball circle. But he grabbed. Cade would have won the jump ball, but he pulled his arm. Grabbed right a hold of his arm and pulled it down. And Cade, again, he was upset after the game because he told him about that. So anyway, yeah, we out rebounded them 61-49, and they were playing without Jimmy Butler. Like I said, we had a lot of adversity though. But it was a great game. We were 24 for 28 on free throws. We were 15 for 15 at halftime on free throws, which we don't. We had that game this year where we were 5 for 7 for the whole game on free throws. So, yeah, 19 turnovers, too many. And that, again, 10 of them were from the 6-minute left mark in the fourth quarter to the end of the game. So, anyway, we are turning around and going to Milwaukee to play the Bucks tomorrow night. They've been struggling, and Damian Lillard is out. At least he was under concussion protocol, so I would be surprised if he's going to play tomorrow. I think, and Middleton hasn't been playing, but Giannis has been really tough. So we'll see. It would be nice if we had Ausar to guard Giannis. But anyway, it was a big win for us. We've been in every game except the Knicks game. Every game's come down to the wire. So our cardiac kids, our team is. But it's been an exciting season. I said it before the season. I didn't know how things were going to turn out win loss wise. I knew the team was going to be way more entertaining. But the guys believe in themselves. They believe in JB. When Asar got um, interviewed, they asked him, "What do you think about how do you like JB?" And I said, "I love him. He comes into practice, he makes it fun. He'll joke around with us, but he gets serious when he needs to, and he has inspired us to play better." And Asar said, "Our defense is so much better." They said, "What do you think about watching the team so far?" He said, "We really are defending way better than we did last year. We have a lot more grit, and we share the ball better." So those are the two things JB preaches, and Asar alluded to that he preaches share the ball and play hard on defense and battle, and that's what we do. But we're playing smart. It's not just there's effort there, but there's also a system in place, and the players are being coached and they're learning. So it is really great to see. But um, I guess I will talk a little bit about Asar. I haven't been on that long, but Asar, was interviewed when they found out that he was cleared to play, and he said that they asked him what he can do to help the team, and he said, and JB says he can eliminate players. Well, he needed to eliminate like guys like Herro tonight, and he does have that tremendous ability. But he also, JB says that he's going to be able to distribute the ball. So sad thing for me is, Cade gets the ball. Cade, especially the first half, he gives the ball up all the time. He doesn't try to force things. He comes up the court. He pitches ahead, especially to Ivy. That's planned. That's something JB said he wanted to have happen before the season, and Cade's doing it. Even if Ivy's just a little ways ahead of him, Cade passes it to Ivy, coming down in transition. Um, he also Asar likes it the fact that we are consciously trying to fast break. And there was talk that with JB as coach, they thought that he had a slow tempo when he was in Cleveland, but we are really looking to push the ball. I mean, I even saw a time when JB was mad at towards the end of the game where or he was really saying, "Come on, come on, come on, let's push the ball." So yeah, but JB thinks that Asar is going to be able to do some of the playmaking, and that he thinks that's a strength of his. And so we need that. We need another guy that can do that. And he showed flashes of it last year, and he had a little bit of loose handle, but we'll see. But another thing, Asar definitely looks stronger. He's thicker. He's more muscular. And I saw clips. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter of him shooting the three. His shot is completely different, complete made over. He said Fred Vincent the is awesome. He said he is right there all the time, and he is really focused on helping us. And he said how he's helping Ji and Holland and other guys, but his shot looks so much better. He does not have his left hand. Last year, his left hand was right behind the ball. Now it's on the side. His shot looks so smooth. Last year, Asar was so robotic. And one of my listeners wasn't pleased about me saying how Holland was clowning around before the game, but he was. I mean, there's 20 minutes left. 20 minutes before the game, they have a warm up for that whole 20 minutes. He was goofing around with 10 two-way guys, and he was shooting out backwards over his head. But I'm sure he works hard at times with it. But I can tell you when I go to prep games, and I used to go get there early and watch Asar, he is so locked in, but he was so like stiff and mechanical last year. And so that I think really, besides having his left hand behind the ball, really made a problem with the shot. It remains to be seen. Some guys like again, I talked all the time about last year. Stu shot 38% on threes, but I said he's not a three-point shooter. They did have to guard him. Stu did not want to shoot the three, and he's proven it this year. They would let him shoot the three if he wanted to, but he doesn't. He doesn't want to. He gets the ball. He got the ball and did some dribble handoff stuff out front. He doesn't even look at the basket. So, anyway, hopefully Asar gets to the point where he is looking at the basket and he's going to look to score. But it was really cool to see how excited he was about that he's going to get to play. and that JB's excited about what he can bring to the team defensively and even offensively. And so, like I said, it will be interesting to see, if they take Holland's minutes away. I don't know if they will or not. And then I think that to get him up to 30 minutes, which has been my thing that I wanted him to do since last year, they just play the kid 30 minutes. And um, but they might just take a couple minutes away from Beasley, take a couple minutes away from Hardaway. There's just ways that you can do it and get the minutes. I hope. Again, I'm a big Fantecchio guy, and he's shown some signs of playing better lately. He had a good game tonight, and I just believe in his 3-point shot, and he tries hard. So all our guys are trying hard. So that is a wonderful thing to watch when your team plays with grit. There's a great thing that people in life, people in the world that are successful are not the smartest, they're not the tallest, they're not the most athletic in sports or in other things in life. They did a study in life about every different walk of life. They did a study, not just athletes, but in other things too. And they found that they labeled it grit. And it's something that you persevere, people that persevere and keep working hard and have that grit are people that are successful. And it's not just always the most talented. And so our team is not the most talented defensively, but we are getting after it, and we did a great job. Unfortunately, like I said, Herro, we really held him down good, but then Herro got on fire at the end. But anyway, we'll be back on the air after the Bucks game tomorrow night. But be the reason that somebody feels cared for. And go Pistons. Great win.